Halo Infinite officially delayed until 2021.
I said, didn't I say?
I was convinced that Microsoft would not let them do that because if they don't, they have 0 killer apps to launch the console with in November. 0. Less than 1. Goose egg. And so I thought to myself, Microsoft would rather die on the hill of having a mediocre to less than mediocre Halo game launch with the console than launch with nothing and suffer whatever it was that was going to be delaying Halo. So, you know what this tells me? Is that the game is as bad or worse than we thought. Because there's no universe that Microsoft sits down and says, okay, well, you know, our showing wasn't all that strong, but let's just go ahead with it. It has to be catastrophic. Like Ragnarok, end of the world, bad. Like, we're talking so bad, they could have sat down and decided whether or not they were going to fucking refresh the whole damn game. Bad. The rumors about them not having multiplayer done in time for the release and having that separated, and then them coming out and saying that wasn't true. I guess it was probably only not so true insofar as that the whole game is being delayed and not just multiplayer.
Yeah.
Bro,
I think the game, I think what they showed is what they had. They realized that it was not going over well at all, and they said, "Oh fuck,
yeah,
we got to make some changes." But hey, let's put out some fires here first. Tell everybody this was, because of the Rona or whatever, and we just didn't have, what we needed. And and by the way, free to play. Did I tell you that it's going to be free to play? I know I didn't mention that in my actual presentation, but yeah, it'll be free. It'll be free to play. And then once everybody was like, "Oh, okay, all right, you know what? I don't hate you as much now." Okay, then they're going to slide in. Oh, by the way, now we're delaying, and this is where they go and they redo a whole fuckload of stuff, bro. Because this game was not. This game was probably, like you said, was probably ready to go. Until they showed people and they said, "Whoa, we better not put this out, or our franchise is actually dead now. Like this is the show." So yeah, that's what I think happened.
Yeah, dude, that was just I didn't think Microsoft would fucking do it. I was so convinced because Microsoft's footing going into this launch is not good.
No.
PlayStation doesn't have any first-party killer apps launching really with the console either, other than like the Spider-Man game, which is really just a revisiting of an already existing Spider-Man game. But that doesn't matter because their momentum is so much better. Whoa, it's dope. I'm talking to myself now. We lost Jeff on the call. Are you still there, Jeff? I'll just talk to myself now. You can see the rest of my room. You can see Kermit back there. You see that? Not bad.
I am back.
Welcome back.
I accidentally clicked the wrong button.
So, PlayStation's position, like we talked about many times before now, is so strong from this gen that they don't have to have a crazy good start with games and everything. They've already mentioned a bunch of games that are first party coming out or exclusives that people are looking forward to, where Microsoft continues to put out kind of disappointing news about first party exclusives because it's getting muddied in the waters with Game Pass and PC releases, and the reality of Microsoft really just focusing on selling software on any platform they can get it on versus relying on selling Xboxes to sell the software.
Yeah.
Which is Microsoft's unique position in this game because they have Windows and they have relationship with other platforms on their operating system that allows them to do this kind of shit. Sony doesn't have that luxury. And that seems to be Microsoft's thing. They're really just focusing on Game Pass. And so now that Halo is delayed, and I think we all knew that it needed to be delayed, it was just, I just fucking didn't, I didn't think I knew 343 probably knew it needed to be, but I didn't think Microsoft would let them. And maybe the reaction that they got was what Microsoft saw and said, okay, maybe, yeah, we do need to do this thing.
And I also think that, like, this is probably the time to do the things that you don't want to do, because you actually have a legitimate excuse.
Yeah, you have a bit of an out.
Everybody, that everybody's kind of in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, with Rona, obviously, most of the game developers have that, and it's a legitimate out. I don't think in Halo's case it is the majority contributor to why the game is in the state that it's in right now. I think that the game was already going to be on the rocks without Rona, if I'm going to be honest, and we talked about that before too, and we know that, excuse me, at the very least, they hit the reset button on the story and gameplay to a degree at some point because of the reaction to Halo 5.
Yep.
And here's I don't even think it's a hot take, but here's my opinion, Jeff.
Give me the hot take. Give me the hot take, Adam.
343 Industries doesn't know how to fucking make a Halo game. You know what 343 Industries knows how to do? Canvas the market for already existing first-person shooters, and then try and shoehorn Halo into that formula. If you look at everything the 343 Industries have done with Halo, that is almost exactly what they have done every fucking time. As soon as Bungie no longer had their hands on the fucking franchise, it stopped being Halo and it started being every other shooter on the market.
Yeah.
With Halo painted over top.
Yeah. And I firmly believe that's where they went wrong. Is they lost that it factor. I'm not sure what that is at this point, because it's been so long since I've actually experienced that it factor. And I mean, even going back to play the old Halos, I probably still wouldn't even enjoy it as much as I did back in the day, simply because of the quality of life improvements that have just been in shooters over the last several years. Not saying that Halo would be any worse than any of them, because it's still probably a better game overall, and just a game built with better intentions and more love. So, you know, the reality is I don't even know what that it factor is anymore, and I'm not even sure 343 knows what that is anymore. And I think what they're doing is they're just trying to jump on the trends and hopefully something that sticks, and then using the Halo name to get a boost within that sort of that lane. But it's just not working for them, because the reality is they're just games that just do it better at this point. And even the games that are doing it better, you're not saying a whole lot about those games either, because even those are, a lot of them are just old, monotonous, the same regurgitated shit with the same problems that other ones have. It's just ones that we're willing to tolerate. What we're not willing to tolerate at this point is seeing Halo, a beloved franchise, get thrown into the mud and get thrown in the mix with all the stuff that we barely want to tolerate anymore. So we're just not even going to tolerate a shitty Halo game, because I'd rather just tolerate a shitty Call of Duty game, or I guess just say a good Call of Duty game, which, let's be real, is not really saying particularly a whole lot, even though I got to give props to the newest Call of Duty. It's still not like a life-changing experience by any means. It's just an experience that surprised me at was how shitty it wasn't, opposed to how good it really is. And I just think Halo fans are just over it. They're just like, bro, you're not doing this to my franchise, and they've got one last shot. And I think Microsoft made the right decision, because they finally have an out as to why they're delaying it. They don't need to admit that the game wasn't ready and the reception wasn't what they thought it was going to be. All they need to do to say is the world is blowing up. Every single person on the planet can relate to that. There isn't a single person that you can't go to and say, hey, Rona's fucking shit up. And this person can go, well, Rona's not fucking anything up where I'm from. It just doesn't exist at this point, right? You're reminded every time you walk at the house and, stores aren't open when they're supposed to be open, or everybody's wearing masks. You got signs all over the place. It's real. So now they actually have an opportunity to fuck off and go and fix their game, take the time they need. Shit, if they need to delay it again to make sure it's right, people are going to understand.
Bro, I'm not 100% convinced we'll see this game until fall of 2021.
Yeah.
I think they're going to. I think there's a chance that this either launches in late spring, And if it doesn't launch by late spring, I suspect we're going to see it in like November of 2021. Because what is likely to happen is if they have this extra time, they're going to discover that there's so much extra work that could be done that they might as well just make it a Christmas fucking or a holiday release and put everything behind it and just fucking walk away. But it's if it doesn't happen by late spring, then yeah, it's probably not going to happen until the winter time. And I just don't think that 343 knows what the fuck they're doing. I think 343, I don't think 343 is a bad developer in that they don't like mechanically make like horrifically bad video games, but they don't have the talent that Bungie did there to know when to borrow from other games and when to carve your own fucking path and stay in your lane. And if there's one thing that Halo was never going to be, it was never going to be a fast-paced fucking game ever. You cannot take the Halo formula, keep it Halo, and speed it up to Call of Duty. You just don't. It instantly becomes not Halo. Yeah. And Halo, I think one of the things about Halo, unfortunately, is that it's one of those things where you either have to sacrifice the soul of what makes Halo Halo to try and sell some copies up front and lose your identity, and probably just lose all your fans in the process like we're seeing, or stick to it, realize you're not going to sell 70 million copies of Halo.
No,
it's just not going to happen. No. Eventually, that style of first-person shooter will have its heyday again. It will come back around. This shit cycles. Right now, we're in the land of high mobility, high speed, coked out, Adderall snorting teenager first-person shooters. We haven't gotten like Quake arena levels of high-speed Twitch shooting nonsense, but we're in that pocket right now, and Halo is not going to fit that pocket. So know your fucking lane, sell your 7 to 10 million copies of Halo, accept that that's what you're going to get, and move on. Don't try and create Halo in some other fucking brand's stead. It's not gonna work. And if 343 haven't fucking got it through their head at this point, after what they've experienced with the franchise and what they've done with it, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, I agree.